Hey everybody, welcome to the Fast Bowling Cartel. It's myself, Damien Fleming, and the great man Jason Gillespie. Of course, we'll do the DK salute just to get it going. And day one here at Perth Stadium, the great Dennis Illy, he might have taken 19 wickets himself. 19 wickets lost for the day for 295 runs.
It was incredible, Flem, wasn't it? And I think the last time that happened in Australia was in the early 50s against the West Indies, so over 70 years ago.
It was nuts, wasn't it? Mitchell Starc took 7 wickets. Ben Stokes got a cheap fifer. It was like 2019 again. It was Stokesy this time with the ball. We've got batting collapses. We've got Bazball. We've got Fizzball at the end of their innings and thinking, God, it's all going Australia's way. But the England bowling partnership combined with some questionable Australian batting has got it in a position where England now are on top after day one. But if we go to if there's a good, bad, and ugly of today, we'll start with the good.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Were you surprised that actually England won the toss and batted?
Yeah, I think everyone assumed that England were going to bowl first because Ben Stokes has the last 11 tests. He's won the toss. He's decided to have a bowl. I actually like the fact that he came out and said, "No, we're going to have a hit," which was a bit strange considering they don't have a frontline spinner in their lineup. So I think it was bold from him, adaptable. I think that was a good thing. But yeah.
And looking at the pitch this morning, it looked a bat first pitch. It just looked as good a Perth Stadium day one pitch as I've seen. There was a green tinge, but it looked flat and it looked hard.
It looked hard. It had really consistent bounce throughout the day. I just think some of the batting today is the worst I've seen in Test cricket.
Okay, we'll go positives because it's been a great day for the fast bowling cartel of both teams and a bit of fizzball batting wise. But Mitchell Starc has taken 7 for today's best bowling figures ever at 35 years of age. God forbid where Australia would be without him today, but pace of over 143 kilometres an hour. Got all the big breakthroughs, including I thought Ben Stokes was a big one because the England captain, great all-rounder. If he starts well with the bat, you think he sets himself up for a big series. But what about your thoughts on Mitchell Starc?
I thought the way he started, Flem, was outstanding. He pitched the ball up. It was good lines, good lengths. And he just challenged the front foot, the front defensive play of the English team. Now, what I loved is he got his 7 for, which is his best figures. Previous best figures was in his last Test match. We got 6 for 9 in Kingston, Jamaica. And when Australia bowled out West Indies for 27 with Scotty Boland got a hat trick as well. So that was a great day for the fast bowling cartel. And today, Mitchell Starc, best figures, fantastic.
It was, and it was an interesting one. There wasn't a lot of swing around. I think it was the lowest ratings swing that we've seen in the day one here at the Perth Stadium. Scott Boland had one of his worst days in Test match cricket, and I think England, they talked that they were going to take him on a little bit, and they didn't actually smash him to all parts, but I thought even Duckett walking down the crease, Brook going, showing his stumps, and Bolo attacking it. Their plan against Boland were to absolute perfection today for England.
Yeah, and he didn't quite get his length right, did he? It's very unusual to see Scotty Boland get driven down the ground as much as he had today, which was a bit of a surprise. So I just wonder if the tactics are just rattling him a little bit.
Yeah.
But he did bowl some good balls, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't quite the best we've seen from Scott Boland.
Yeah, technically, he went out at lunch with Andrew McDonald to work on a few things. For me, technically, it looked all right. Yeah. He wasn't nailing that Boland Boulevard of bewilderment that we've seen in Australia. What about Brendan Doggett? Picking up a couple of wickets, which is always great, but also you had a bit to do with the baggy green presentation to him in the morning.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was great to see Brendan Doggett get his debut there. I was fortunate enough to be asked by Andrew McDonald if I'd be part of the ceremony. So the inner sanctum, if you will, it was pretty cool. Scotty Boland actually started off, made a speech. He said he was the most nervous he's ever been, was making that speech for Brendan Doggett. And then I just jumped in with a little bit of discussion around when he moved from Queensland to South Australia, spoke about that. He said 2 things to me, Flem, when we were discussing coming to South Australia. He said he wanted contribute to the culture of South Australia and win trophies.
Wow.
And he wanted a baggy green. And so all I said to him, he achieved that with South Australia. South Australia won the Shield final last year. And then today's your day with your baggy
So
green.
how does that make you feel?
Oh, it was pretty special. It was so much fun. Someone asked me before, were you nervous, Diz, and chatting? And funny enough, I actually wasn't. I was just excited for Brendan.
Yeah.
You know, had all his family there, and which was absolutely brilliant. And you know, Scotty spoke well, presenting with his cap, and then David Warner presented Jake Weatherall with his cap. So yeah, a great day, you know, for those two guys and their families.
Yeah, when we do the football podcast, we may talk about our experiences giving out baggy greens. But the one thing, talking to the boys that get them, and you ask them, "Oh, what was it like?" It's just a blur to them. Just about to a man,
Yeah.
they can't remember what happens, you know. And when you give it, you're putting so much effort into it.
Yeah.
Joe Root going for a duck, I thought was significant, because I thought he needed to be their highest run scorer through this series. Not necessarily getting 100, but you know, averaging 58 under Bazball, strike rate of 66. I saw him as the core. So when he got knocked over, I thought, wow, what a big win for Australia. But the two players, Brook and Smith, they've given us a little glimpse about how good they are. They are incredible strikers of the ball.
They are fantastic strikers of the ball. Harry Brook, he was almost playing on a different surface out there compared to everyone else. He got a 50. Jamie Smith looks dangerous. I think, as you said, shown the Australian crowds who probably don't know much about Jamie Smith, just what a good player he is.
Yep. So I said it was Bazball when Brook and Smith were going, and it was Fizzball where they lost 5 for about 20. So you go, well, they've underachieved. Australia are well and truly dominating that. And it just started badly, didn't it? Usman Khawaja didn't come out because he'd spent too much time off the field with back spasms. So even that could have thrown Jake Weatherall out a little bit, opening with Marnus. And he got a cracking second delivery from Archer, which I thought it pitched outside leg stump, but Hawkeye said it was knocking him over, but not a great start for Jake, not a great start for the Australians.
No, it certainly wasn't. And, you know, both teams lost a wicket in the first over. Zach Crawley obviously got out to Mitchell Starc in the first over of England's innings. So hasn't been a good start for openers. Unfortunately for Jakey Weatherall, only lasted 2 deliveries. Hopefully he can rectify that in the second innings when he gets another opportunity. But yeah, it was a poor start by Australia.
Yeah, we've gone through the good, gone through a bit of bad, and then it just gets ugly. You know, Stephen Smith and Marnus really battled hard. Stephen Smith, I've never seen him get hit so much. He was getting hit on elbows, fingers, forearms, and everything there. I thought the English bowling was just first class. The fast bowling cartel from England. What Australia failed to do was get bowling partnerships and pressure. The thing is, with Archer, Atkinson, Wood, Cass, and then finally Stokes, they're all right-handers. They all provide something different.
Yeah, they certainly do. And that was probably a question mark over this England bowling attack is there enough variety in it? Is it a bit samey?
Yeah.
But you quite rightly pointed out, Flynn, they all bring something a little bit different. I was quite impressed with Bryden Cass today. I know he went for 4.5 and over. He does bowl wicket-taking balls. He runs in and he hits that pitch hard. And look, he was rewarded with 2 big wickets of Khawaja and Steve Smith.
Massive. Castro, I mean, he is South African. He reminds me a little bit of Morné Morkel. Not quite as tall, but that ugly, you know, he's got that front leg that sprays out. So then his top half goes straight back to the mid. But what they do is they release at 12 o'clock. It's ugly bounce off the leg. What about Jofra Archer? I mean, that was high-class bowling today.
Yeah, it was. His radar in his first over, other than the wicket of Weatherall, he was a bit off. But when he found his radar, it looked like he was hitting the bat so much harder than the speed gun was suggesting. The speed gun was suggesting low 140s, but the way it was hitting the wicket keeper's gloves, the way it was hitting the bat of the Australian batters, it looked a lot quicker than that.
Yeah, Atkinson very good as well. You know, Wood not at his best. I don't think he bowled full enough, but the great thing is they've got the opportunity. He hasn't bowled that many overs in the second innings. Ben Stokes, so he misses out with the bat. You know, we've put a dent in his confidence. Grabs the ball, gets 5 for 23. And, it reminded me a lot of the Lordship, Ian Botham. A lot of them were just ordinary balls on
They're
short.
not hitting the
And I don't reckon he would have been expecting to get wickets. And with at least 3 of them, the biggest one, Travis Head. I don't mind when Trav goes 100%, because that's the way he goes. But, you know, a low percentage little lap like that breaks a big wicket or gets a big wicket for Stokes. And we just collapsed after that.
Yeah, we certainly did. And obviously Alex Carey's dismissal, the trap was set and he fell for it. Was he trying to hit it a bit finer, over the keeper or the slips? But yeah, you're right. Travis Head, we want to see him hitting the ball hard and looking to hit the boundary rather than just tuck it around the corner, hit the ball.
Yeah, and you wonder about that. I mean, it'll be interesting to hear in the press conferences, just that inner drive to go, we're just going to get to the end of the day with the most wickets in hand, which obviously gives us more opportunity to score runs the next day, but it gives the opportunity for Mitchell Starc to rest up a little bit after that. So, yeah, I'll be quite interested in the folks from the Australian dressing room. You know, they cannot be happy with that batting performance as well as England bowled.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose the message is for Australia losing 4 for 31 in the middle there. I thought Cameron Green actually looked very composed. That looked at our best when Head was looking to attack.
Yeah.
And Green, even though he got filled in by a bouncer, miraculously he didn't fall on the stumps, didn't it?
No.
He had enough to sort of swerve around them there. But I thought he looked really good.
I thought a feature of his innings, and admittedly he only got 24 runs, Flynn, but the driving down the ground, I think when Cameron Green's batting well, he accesses the down the ground through mid-on, mid-off, straight down, hit the ball back where it came from. And that's a real feature because he's a big, tall lad. He's got good levers. He can get right out there and hit the ball with a full face. And when he's doing that, he looks dangerous.
Day one, 19 wickets. I think Brendan Doggett's the only person who hasn't faced a ball.
That's exactly right. Actually, bang on.
It's the most incredible thing.
It's extraordinary, wasn't it?
On day one of a test match, the number 11 of the team batting second is the only person who hasn't faced a test match. So, where's the go from here? You know, how do Australia? You've got to minimise the deficit.
Yep.
But I can't see this pair making many runs.
No.
So, what are they going to do with the ball?
Well, the lines and the lengths, got to hit that shoebox on a length, I think, and because there's just enough there, particularly when the ball's new, hard and new, to create some opportunities. England, we know how they'll play. They'll go out and be aggressive. We've just got to hang firm, and I think we got rattled a little bit, the Aussies, when England were looking to advance down the wicket, maybe shimmy down, upset the rhythm of our bowl. We've just got to hold tight, hold firm.
Yeah, certainly so. So. For the Australians, Mitchell Starc, best bowling figures of all time. Well done to him, but unfortunately he's going to need a few of the teammates to really lift. That is the fast bowling cartel review after day one. Jason Gillespie, great day for the fast bowling cartel of both teams. We'll be back to hopefully not wrap up the match tomorrow after day two, and hopefully Australia can fight back. In what builds to be another thrilling Ashes series. For Diz, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, mate. Pleasure.
Come on, Aussies.
Come on, boys.